This podcast is sponsored by Hollywood Casino in Charlestown, West Virginia. April's featured entertainment includes Los Lobos on the 12th, Josh Turner on the 13th, and the Steel Woods on the 26th. Details and tickets at HollywoodCasinoCharlestown.com. Must be 21 to enter the casino floor and attend a show. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Welcome to the newest episode of Beyond the Fame with Jason Fraley. I'm your host, Jason Fraley, picking the brains of the top filmmakers, musicians, and artists of our time. The hilariously haunted sitcom Ghosts airs tonight on CBS, and next Tuesday, the cast visits the Library of Congress in Washington, D.C. for a special event screening and Q&A. I spoke with Richie Moriarty, who plays Pete, and Danielle Pinnock, who plays Alberta, to preview tonight's episode and next week's big event in the nation's capital. Hey, Danielle Pinnock and Richie Moriarty. Hey, thanks so much for joining us on WTOP in DC.
Thanks for having us.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Yeah, we're talking, obviously, you're the cast of CBS's Ghost. My wife and I watch it every week. We love it. It's hilarious. But we're talking because you're coming to the Library of Congress here in Washington, D.C. Next Tuesday, April 9th. Now, do you know which all cast members are coming? I know it'll be you two, but do you know who else is going to be there with y'all?
Yes, Ramon Zaragoza, Rebecca Wasaki. I think Asher's coming as well, too.
Asher Grodman will be there. Yeah.
And remind us which characters that they play.
So that is our pantless ghost, Trevor, Sasapis, our Native American ghost, and then Hetty, who Rebecca Wasaki plays.
Yes, absolutely. Well, yeah. It's a great ensemble cast. Love the show. So not only, so you'll be visiting Library of Congress, and I believe the library is going to be curating certain historical items from the different eras of the ghosts that you all portray, and then presenting them to you. Do you know anything else about how that's going to work? I guess it's for each era that you are, right?
Yeah, and I'm a 1980s ghost, so I'm really hoping they have a DeLorean just waiting for me in the Library of Congress.
Their flux capacitor will be fluxing.
Exactly. Yeah. We don't know the items yet. They haven't told us, so we're all very excited to kind of discover what they've unearthed from our different eras. It's going to be really cool to see.
Yeah, I can't wait. I'm really thinking they probably will have moonshine for Alberta because the 1920s Prohibition era, but we'll see. Yeah.
Yeah, right. She was a 20s Prohibition sort of lounge singer. But actually, you might even find some clues to your murder at the Library of Congress because every time we go back to looking at your backstory, we find some clues.
Oh yeah,
totally.
for sure.
Except for that one, what was the one episode with the one podcaster guy who's the obsessed
Oh my
fan.
gosh, Todd, who has a whole tattoo of me on his back. Isn't that crazy? And my toenails.
Collecting your toenails. Your toenails are not at the Library of Congress, just to clarify.
Yes, I am so grateful for that. I really am.
Yeah, that's just Todd.
And that's Rodrigo Fernandez Stahl plays Todd. He's so funny. He's been with us for a couple of episodes, or maybe 3 episodes, 2 or 3. He's lovely. He's so fun to have on set. He's one of the great Canadian actors that joins us up in Montreal for the show.
So much. It's such a great cast top to bottom. We can get into more of the cast, including the 2 leads and everything later. But I want to, just while we're talking the Library of Congress, I believe in addition to, them, showing all the library collection, their artifacts or whatever. I believe that I also see that you're going to, go to their Coolidge Auditorium and screen an upcoming episode.
Yeah, we're going to screen an upcoming episode. We're going to have a Q&A after that. We're so excited. It's going to be very fun for the people that come to be able to see an episode before it. I believe it's before it airs, right? It's the new one that we'll screen a little bit early.
Episode. I haven't seen it yet. It is the episode. It's a few different things happening in that. Alberta has a love interest coming, which is played by Lamorne Morris, which was just announced from New Girl. And I cannot wait to see it because there are a ton of shenanigans that we get involved in that episode. And if I'm not mistaken, there's a bachelor party as well too, Rich, isn't there?
I think that is. So this is episode 307 that we're screening. And it's
307. The poltergeist is what we're talking about.
Yes, okay. Exactly.
We're very excited about it. It's going to be super fun.
Wait, did you say Lamorne Morris? Winston Bishop from New Girl?
Yes,
Hilarious. I love
He's so funny. It's
Winnie
so
the
funny too
Pooh.
because like all of these guest stars that we have, it's so interesting to see kind of their takes on the characters when they arrive on set. And Lamorne was one of those people that just came in and right away you
Yes.
knew he was going to nail every moment of this episode. It's so fun to have a veteran like him on who's just like immediately perfect in the role and knows exactly what he's doing. He was so great.
He was
Yes.
amazing, truly.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, working alongside him, I was working character every moment. He was
But hilarious.
improvising and just cracking us up. He's incredible.
He's
Yeah.
and his outfit in this, he plays a baseball player from the Negro Baseball League, and his outfit, his jersey
Oh,
from
stunning.
the from that era is incredible. Our costumers are amazing on the show, and what they created for him is so cool. We were instantly all like, I want this jersey. He looks
Exactly.
amazing.
So
Exactly.
it's a little bit, Field of Dreams Ghost. If you build it, Lamorne Morris will come.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. Well, he was also great in the new Fargo. Like he can do drama, comedy. He can do it all. Amazing.
Yes,
He's amazing.
But so, all right. So, just to clarify for our listeners, tonight's episode, Thursday, April 4th, is going to be something called Hello, Brother. And then next Tuesday at the Library of Congress, you are going to screen the 7th episode of the season, The Poltergeist. Just to clarify, there's still another one that's going to air tonight before even the one at the library.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay, so then if you don't mind, then so where do we leave off and pick up? Like, let's tease tonight's episode 6. I guess it's sort of been like a bit of a hiatus since I think the last one was like March 14th. I don't know if that was like CBS March Madness or maybe something. They took a break or something. But remind us, it left off with your two characters doing some really important stuff. So Pete, your I guess late wife who was cheating on you that you saw as a ghost has choked at a party and died and become a ghost in the house with you, right? And so Alberta, you were pretending to be like a love interest, and then by the end of the episode, when you remove the arrow from the neck, you might be catching some feelings for him. So where do we leave off with that?
I mean, Pete finally has his sexy moment, like that scene was so funny because like the way it was shot was perfect. Trent O'Donnell directed the episode. Our amazing DP Michelle just did an incredible job shooting that moment. But what I love about it is when you cut to Alberta, they cut to Alberta a couple different times. And Danielle, what you are doing with your eyes and your face is so perfect and so funny. Like in my house, when we were watching it, you got so many laughs just from your reaction. Like, what? Who is this?
I'm telling you, Pete is fine, honey. It's the swoop bang. I'm telling when the hands went through that swoop, Alberta was in love. I'm telling you. It was, Richie is a masterclass watching him. And that episode, I even just filming it was laughing so much, but it really just is a testament to his range as an actor. And I'm just really excited for y'all to see the rest of the season because he has so many more beautiful moments like that.
Oh, thanks, Danny. That's so sweet.
Who knows what is going to happen with Alberta and Pete, but thank goodness we have a season 4 coming.
Yeah, right. Right.
As well too, so more to come.
This episode that's airing tonight, Pete is having to deal with like the aftermath of having his wife there. She expresses interest in him. I think she's kind of like trying to rekindle the love they had when they first met and first got married. And Pete's having to deal with that. And then Trevor, Asher Grodman's character, has his brother visiting the mansion. So we get to see his grown-up brother, and he's played by John Glazer, who's one of the funniest people in the world. It was so nice to have him on set. So it's a great episode tonight. Always fun to have guests like John on the show.
And the older brother does wear pants, unlike Trevor, right?
Yes.
That's good to know. Well, hey, Richie, as Pete, you probably are, unless I'm forgetting, probably it's the most like obvious. You wear your death around on your neck at all times, the arrow through the neck. Whereas Alberta, you were murdered, or I guess Flower had some scars. But for the most part, Richie, for Pete, we can sort of see what happened to you at all times. What's it like
Yeah.
walking around with that thing? That's like a prop that I feel like as you turn, you might bump into doorways or something.
Oh man, I almost there was a moment season 1 where I truly almost blinded Roman Zaragoza, who plays Sesapis, because I leaned in to whisper something to him in a scene and not realizing that like if I do that lean and he's right next to me, that arrow is gonna poke him, and it got him like on the eyelid, and we narrowly avoided a disaster. But yeah, it took me honestly a full season to get used to it because it is an extension of your body.
Yeah.
A little secret here is we shortened the arrow a touch in season 2 because it was slightly wider than my shoulders in season 1, and it was tricky. It was really tricky. I couldn't get too close to anybody, so they shortened it a little bit for me, which has freed me up a little bit. But yeah, it is very funny to wear my death on my neck like that.
You a little
That
more of a
refreshing?
a little turn radius now.
Yeah,
But,
totally.
so you method act that, right? You actually had him shoot you up with an arrow, right?
Yeah, I made that clear from day one. I said I will not do this unless I really have an arrow going through my throat.
I love it. I love it. And I also think it's a cool touch by the writers. I mean, I know it was based on a British series, so they're not reinventing the whole wheel, but they are making it fresh. And I thought it's a cool touch that not only are you're dead in the middle of the fun of that, but like you each have sort of like a secret power in a way. You know what I mean? Like Alberta,
Totally.
like the humans can hear you humming and singing and stuff, right?
They sure can, yes. And you get to see a little bit of that in the Poltergeist episode for sure, with her love interest and humans hearing her humming.
Yeah.
It gets a little nasty. But
And
yeah.
I think I can tease too that like we find out Pete's ghost power this season at
Yes.
the end of the season, and it's a doozy. It's a good one. And it really like creates a whole kind of different world for my character. So that was so fun to shoot. I'm really excited for the fans to see it. I also want to mention too, like this event at the Library of Congress is a bit of a homecoming for a few of us in the cast. Myself and Utkarsh Ambudkar grew up in the Rockville area. We went to Wooten High School in Rockville, so we're excited to come back to the DC area. And Brandon Scott Jones is from Baltimore, and his family's still there. So there are a bunch of Maryland people in our cast, so we're really excited. Like so often we're in New York or LA to promote the show, and it's really nice to be coming to DC this time.
Well, I was gonna ask you about that. So tell me about sort of your memories of growing up in Rockville. I'm a Frederick boy. I'm a
Oh, you are? Okay, yeah.
Linganore High School. We don't know if we ever really played you all
Yeah, I
down
don't think so.
down in Montgomery, different county, but
Yeah.
but yeah, just memories of the area. Did you do like school plays at Wooten or anything like that?
You know what I did? I did like the beginnings of kind of sketch comedy in well, first of all, like you can actually like watch this online. I put this online at some point, but in my kindergarten talent show, I did a ventriloquist routine. Like my dad wrote me these like very dad jokes, and I did this like stand-up routine with a puppet that I had that was like a dog puppet, and we did like a little ventriloquist routine. And it's so funny because you can't understand a word I'm saying. My voice is so high pitched. It's truly insane. But yeah, it started very young. And then I went to Robert Frost Middle School, which was, I think, Robert Frost Junior High at the time. But yeah, I did like some sketches during talent shows there. So I was much more like comedically centered, I think, from early on. I didn't do a lot of like straight plays. I did one in high school, but that was never my bag. I was always like more interested in the sketch comedy world.
Gotcha. Well, welcome home when you come next week.
Thanks.
We're glad to have you back. Well, and then Danielle, for you, I know you're not from this area, but I would love to sort of hear something similar of your backstory.
I'm from Jersey. I am a proud Jersey gal. My family is Jamaican. I'm telling you, they're going to be taking a church bus and coming to the Library of Congress. My uncles are coming. My aunties are coming. My cousins, they got their ticket the first day. My mother's flying from Los Angeles. Wow. I cannot wait to see my family because we live in Los Angeles now. Everyone is on the East Coast, so I can't wait to give them big hugs and to just see old friends that I haven't seen in so long.
Wow, I mean, how often does the family get to see, you there?
I'm telling you,
at the Library of Congress. That's a big deal.
It's unreal. And I'm telling you, my family's WhatsApp has been blowing up. They've been like, oh, we're going to see our girl. And a bunch of my friends, I went to Temple University. And so a bunch of my old college friends from Philly are going to come down as well, too. I'm so excited.
I bet that group
Awesome.
text is probably insane.
Oh yeah, it's
Trying to
wild. It's a lot of
coordinate that.
coordinating. It's a lot of like, is there a cheesecake factory nearby? There's a lot of that right now.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Well, and hey, real quick, I'm just well, just since we're talking about, your pre-Ghost backstory, didn't you also you studied theater at Temple University? Not too far, Philly's not
Yeah.
too far from DC. And isn't that didn't weren't you there with Quinta Brunson?
Oh, Quinta Brunson, Oscar winner, Davine Joy Randolph, my very dear friend, which is just incredible to say those words together. So many people, Coleman Domingo, that was his alma mater as well too. Maurice Williams, who is the creator of Intergalactic on Netflix and the Vince Staples Show. It was a beautiful time to be at that school and to see all of the talent now and how everyone in their own ways are just thriving. It's unreal. I loved Philadelphia. I love Temple University, and I'm so grateful that I went there, truly.
So cool.
Awesome. Well, yeah, we could literally talk all day about all your stuff, Black Lady Sketch Show and Young Sheldon and all the other stuff you all have done. And you just were in the Eddie Murphy, the Candy Cane Lane. Like, there's so many stuff that for both of you we could talk about, but I want to keep it on Ghosts. Before we run, I would love to dish on some of your other co-stars because we got to talk about Sam and Jay. We've talked a lot about the Ghosts, but talk about sort of the lead act, the couple there that sort of are leading this whole thing. What makes them such great actors, you think, to play off of?
Man, I'll tell you what, like we say all the time on set that like we are so lucky to be led by these two. Rose McIver is just the kindest human being, but also just such a pro on set. She has such a huge workload every day, having to not only carry the bulk of the lines and sort of be the intermediary between the ghosts and Jay, but also she has to do these scenes 2 times. She does them once with all of the ghosts,
Right.
and then all of us step out into the next room, shout our lines from the next room while they shoot what we call a ghostless pass. And she has to remember where we are eyeline wise. She's got to remember, oh, okay, Thorfinn's over here, Alberta's over here. And it is such a difficult, weird skill set, and she's just so good at it. And Utkarsh is incredible. I mean, that guy has another difficult job of having to ignore most of his scene partners every day. And the moments where we have gotten to play off him, whether it be in dream sequences or when he's possessed by a ghost, it's so fun. He's the best. I mean, we're so lucky that those two lead this show because they're so great.
Yeah. Oh, hang on a second. Did I see that Jay? How do I say it? Utkarsh?
Utkarsh, yeah.
Was he from Baltimore and went to, and grew up in Gaithersburg as well?
Yeah. So he and I went to high school together,
Oh,
unknowingly.
Gosh, so he was at Wooten.
He was at Wooten. He was a freshman when I was a senior. We didn't even know this until we were cast on Ghosts.
No
and I remember I looked him up on Wikipedia, and it was like Utkarsh went to Wooten High School in Rockville, Maryland. I was like, what?
But
So
you confirmed it by asking him. It wasn't just Wikipedia, right?
Yeah, that's true. I had to confirm it because otherwise, Wikipedia also said that he had 18 children.
I remember what was it in The Office? Steve Carell, Michael Scott goes, anyone can update Wikipedia, which means you're getting the best possible information.
yeah.
Oh, that's so great. Well, all right. So this is kind of a big deal, by the way. So, because WTOP, we're just literally just down the road right from where Wooten is. We're like right in the Friendship Heights, sort of Chevy Chase area, right on the Maryland, DC line. So this is like our backyard. And a lot of people, our listeners, watch Ghosts every week, not knowing that Jay and Pete went to freaking Wooten together. That's insane.
I know. It's crazy. And like I grew up listening to WTOP in the radio. Like my dad would drive me from place to place, or my mom, and WTOP was always the first station they had on. So I have like ringing in my ears from my childhood, WTOP News Radio 1500. Like it is so ingrained in my brain. So yeah, it's great. It's so cool.
Well, yeah, 1500, I think, was the AM station. Now we're 103.5 FM, but they still have 1500. I think it's like Federal News Radio. It's our sister station now on the AM.
Oh, okay,
anyway,
cool. Yeah.
AM, FM, yeah. I mean, and now this will go on a podcast. Audio is just totally, right? The business has changed entirely.
Totally different.
Well, I'll be a ghost soon.
I would love to see a ghost that used to host like a radio show. Like that would be that, or because this Beyonce album has came out, a cowboy ghost. I would just love that. I don't know what, like, why is this ghost here?
Get a cowboy Carter, in the show. You could add that. Come on.
Oh my gosh, that would be a dream. My other dream is also just to have Queen Latifah come on as Bessie Smith because she's also on the same network with Equalizer. That's just, I'm manifesting that. I'm putting that out there.
Do that. Well, I think we've mentioned most of your co-stars at this point. I mean, you mentioned Thor, hilarious.
Devin Chandler Long, yeah.
And then Flower. Oh yeah, so Flower, they left. We thought, quote unquote, he sucked off. That we laugh every time. Left the show. What is it, Sheila Carrasco? And but we heard her yelling from a well. So is there anything we can tease? Like, so does that mean someone else got sucked off? We haven't revealed yet.
It's definitely not the last we've seen of Flower this season. Okay. Whether in flashback or present day, I won't say, but like Sheila will be back. We were so excited when she did come back to set. She had a baby in November,
right.
And so she took some time off. But we're so thrilled that this isn't the last we've seen of Flower.
You found a creative way to pretend she left, but she will be back this season. Will be back. Are we allowed to say this season or next? We don't know.
I don't know what we're allowed to say. I could say both
at some point. Right. I love it. Yeah. All right. Well, I really appreciate you. You all have been really generous with your time. I guess just sort of final seconds. If is anyone listening that hasn't watched Ghost, maybe they missed the British series and this one. Why should they tune in tonight and then, look for the Library of Congress next week? But these next couple episodes, why should they jump on board now? It's hilarious.
I honestly think that this is our best season yet. And if you want tons of laughs, something that is good for the whole family to gather, we don't have a lot of shows like that anymore. And I think this is the best show on broadcast TV, and that is why people should be watching. It's a story about all of these ghosts, and now they're getting life into their afterlives. It is just such a fun time, and my mom loves it down, so that's why y'all should watch it.
Awesome. There you go. Say no more. Well, thank you so much for doing this. Again, it airs again tonight on CBS, and then the following episode, sneak preview at Library of Congress next Tuesday. So, hey, Pete, Alberta, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Of course. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much for listening to Beyond the Fame with Jason Fraley. Our theme music is Scott Buckley's Clarion. Remember to give us a 5-star rating if you like what you hear. We'll see you next time.